Joining me now is Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry, a member of the House Freedom Caucus, Oversight Committee, Intelligence Committee, and Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. This is just incredible, what we're seeing in terms of now murder from migrants. And they were arrested, but just let back in. And then they were let back in, and they committed murder. Your reaction?
Maria, most of us are shocked and horrified. Of course, we're not surprised. These are unnecessary atrocities that are occurring. And Joe Biden and the Democrat Party own every single one of them. Rachel Marin would be alive today. This 12-year-old girl. Can you imagine it? A 12-year-old girl. These people would be alive today if not for Joe Biden and the Democrat policies. I mean, this Rachel Marin this is Bel Air, Maryland. This is, I don't know, a fairly short drive from where I live. This is not down on the border. This is not inner city. This young lady goes out for a run on a rail trail and ends up losing her life in some horrific terror attack. It's all unnecessary. And of course, the Biden administration wants to send condolences. Meanwhile, today, Maria, how many more of these terrorists and criminals are going to pour across the border into the United States and do this to somebody else's family? It just continues. And they say well, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter because Rachel's never coming back. That 12-year-old girl's never coming home.
I'll tell you, instead of actually acknowledging what has happened here and offering condolences to all of these people's families who are now dead as a result of these horrible policies, what does President Biden do? He comes out with a new allowance for illegals. And he says that he wants to allow the spouses of U.S. citizens, if they are illegal, that they can stay here. I mean, this is what he's thinking about, opening up the country to migrants who are married to U.S. citizens. He's not acknowledging any of this, Congressman.
He's not acknowledging it. To the best of my knowledge, he hasn't contacted Rachel's family, hasn't contacted the family of this 12-year-old girl because he's thinking about bringing more people into the country or allowing more people. Well, he's bringing them, right? We heard about the plane trips. So whether somebody's going to control the border, Maria, it's either going to be the United States of America or it's going to be the cartels. And the cartels are controlling it. That's what Border Patrol tells us. And they're going to keep on sending these people to the United States, especially when President Biden, and I must say it this way, and the Democrats, because they're not doing anything. They're not saying anything they're providing no pressure against President Biden and this administration to stop this. So they're complicit in this. And what they're saying is we want more of these unvetted gotaways. We want more of the vetted people that continue to complete these crimes to come to the country. And it's happening everywhere. People are afraid to go out of their homes in rural America, all across America, because we didn't have to live this way and we don't have to live this way. Yeah. But President Biden requires us to because of what he wants.
By the way, it's not just rural America. I don't like leaving my house in the middle of New York City, okay? I'm sorry, but I used to walk all over the place. I don't walk anywhere anymore in New York City. I mean, there's so many cases of murder. John Lonsky, it's hard to keep track. There's Rachel Marin, the Maryland mother, right? And then there's the 12-year-old girl, Jocelyn Nungary. Weigh in here, John Lonsky.
None of this had to happen, but, this begins with Joe Biden's toleration of illegal immigration. You're breaking the law at the border. They come into this country. They feel free to go ahead and break the law in very horrific manners. It's a sad commentary on the Biden administration. I want to say something about this deal that Biden has proposed on marriage. That is, if you're an illegal alien, you marry an American, you could stay in the country. Isn't this going to go ahead and lead to a huge rise in what we call marriage fraud? You're going to find a lot of illegal aliens offering money to somebody to get married so they can stay in this country. So this is going to lead to even more law breaking.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Congressman? Will we see marriage fraud now?
Of course we're going to see marriage fraud. People are incentivized by the policies that administrations put forward. And if they're willing to break the initial law of coming into the country illegally, does anyone think they're not willing to fraudulently claim that they're married so that they can stay here? This El Salvadorian was known to American authorities to be a murderer in El Salvador, yet he's here in America. He was here in America, traveling freely around America. Do you think that he couldn't coerce somebody into marrying him so he could stay? Of course he can, and that will be the next racket that the cartels are running from Mexico in America, and it's all at the hands of Joe Biden and his complicit Democrats.
Yeah, and you know who else is shameful is the media. The media is also completely ignoring these murders. They're not even talking about the fact that these people were murdered by illegals coming into the country through the wide open border. You never hear that little fact, that little extra fact when you're hearing the media talk about this. And then you want to talk about a racket. How about this, Congressman? USA Today is reporting that Mexican cartels are offering pricey VIP packages for illegal migrants trying to get into the United States. The outlet writes, quote, drainage network that reaches from Juarez into El Paso, Juarez, Mexico, into El Paso, Texas. This is one of the most sought-after routes for patrons of a VIP migration package. It's exactly where I went when I went to the border several times. I was right there in El Paso, across from Juarez. This tunnel route costs at least $6,000. The packages range from $6,000 to $15,000 a person, Congressman. So now you've got the drug cartels touting VIP packages that they're going to get illegals into America. They're making billions.
They are making billions. And like I said, somebody has to control the border. Apparently, it's not the United States of America. It is the cartels. And the way they're doing it so blatantly and openly is like Al Capone telling the federal government, come to the bar and during Prohibition and have a drink with me. The bar's open and there's not a damn thing you can do about it or will do about it. This is President Biden. This is his colleagues in Congress that are allowing this, and it's a complicit media that won't report on crime statistics, literally telling us that crime statistics are down, knowing that crime statistics are increasing, but they're not being reported by DAs that are associated with George Soros and the left. And so it's just, a disrespect for the American people that pay the bill, and now we're paying the bill in blood.